All right, well, we got some other things here going on locally. We got some bills that are being worked on by the Family Caucus, and they are some of these things are in the State House right now. They're going to be going to the Senate. Let's go to the phones here in just a second. We'll talk to John McCravy, Representative John McCravy, about some of these bills, because I'm telling you what, we've got to get some good bills, good legislation coming out of Columbia. And it just doesn't seem like we do that all the time. Joining us right now is Representative John McCravy. John, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great, and I appreciate you having me on.
Well, I appreciate you calling in. So the Family Caucus had a couple of bills that they were really backing. The Help Not Harm bill that would protect children from these trans procedures. How is that? I mean, that was kind of a fight, wasn't it?
You know, surprisingly, it was. And we had some Democrats, of course, always that oppose these common sense type of bills. But, you know, we never thought, here I am, you know, I'm 65 years old. I never thought I'd ever be trying to pass a bill that all it did was prevent our children from being persuaded to do these awful procedures.
Yeah.
You know, these puberty blocking drugs cause permanent damage to children. And then they follow up with cross-sex hormones, which is given, to me, that's like Frankenstein. It's giving male hormones to females and backwards. And then they follow that up. 90% of those follow it up with surgery that mutilates their bodies. And you know, just like we saw Chloe come and testify in South Carolina, how they had removed some of her body parts.
Yeah.
And she'll never get them back. And, you know, we know that 80% of these children actually change their mind if they're just left alone, and they go back with their biological sex. They make a decision by adulthood to go back to what they naturally were born as. So,
right. And just to remind people, we're not talking about adults making this decision on their own. We're talking about minors.
This is minors. And I mean, I don't think it's right for anybody, but it's a free country. If you're an adult, you can mutilate your body if you want to. But you know, minors who don't have, we don't allow them to smoke. We don't allow them to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
We don't allow them to make decisions about a lot of things. Why would we allow them to make a decision that would alter their life forever when 80% of the time they would probably change their mind?
Yeah.
So it's a terrible, terrible thing. I think we're going to look back at this in history and say this was a dark point in our history where we allowed this to go on. And so those that have stood up, the Family Caucus, I'm very proud of in our state. You know, we got 50 legislators who are trying to stand for conservative Christian principles and helping our young people. And you know, that's who the left is coming after. They're coming after our young people.
They really are. And they're trying to get them
before they're born.
You're right. They want to kill them before they're born, and then they want to absolutely indoctrinate them from the day they're born. And they want to do that by over-sexualizing our children. And we all know just how easy it is for kids to get access to porn these days, don't we?
We do. And that goes into our second bill, which is our strict age verification bill that the Senate is now taking up. And this is good news. The Senate is taking up both of these priority bills that we had. Representative Travis Moore from Spartanburg introduced this bill. He's a good Family Caucus guy. And he fought for this on the floor against old Bamberg, who got up and tried to argue that we should allow children to get on porn sites.
Yeah.
And so
hold on, John. Let's just go. We're talking with Representative John McCravy. What was Bamberg's argument? Didn't he say something about a kid watching or him watching porn with his niece or something like that?
He did, and it was outrageous. You know, frankly, I got to be honest. When he gets up to talk, I usually go and find something else to do because I don't need to hear it. You know, I mean, it's just one of those. It's one of those kind of things where he pontificates for a long, long time about nothing. But this time he made a joke at the very beginning about it, and then he talked about his niece, and I was horrified. To me, he should have been disciplined right there on the floor.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear it at the time, but I found out about it later. But, Travis Moore got up and gave a great defense of this bill, and he basically put down those arguments. And this bill would require these porn sites to, and by the way, 8 years old is the average age that kids are now watching porn.
8?
I mean, 8.
Wow.
8 to 11, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood. But that tells you that you got little kids watching it.
Yeah.
If that's average. So, I mean, is it any wonder that we have record mental illness among our children today?
Yeah.
It's sick. But anyway, so this bill has been effective because what it does, it causes so much trouble for those porn sites that they have to have strict age verification, that they have basically shut them down in certain states because they said, hey, your legislators have passed this. We're not going to bother to verify their age. So we're just not allowing anybody from that state to get on. Hey, that's fine with me. We don't need those things anyway. So I guess my point is that this is a good bill, and I hope the Senate's going to continue to take it up and get it passed before the deadline this year.
So this is the question, because we know what happens sometime when good conservative legislation gets to the Senate. You holding up any hope for this?
I am. I'm holding up hope for these two bills, because we've got a few senators who really are fighting for this. You got Senator Garrett, who's my senator, fighting for it. You've got Rickenbach fighting for it. You've got several other ones that are on the front lines over there trying to make this a priority. And I think they are making at least those a priority. We wish we could have got our parental rights bill. It's still sitting in a banning CRT and requiring transparency in education. That's still sitting in a conference committee, and the Senate gutted it, and they're just not going to hear it. It's sad that our state can't pass a parental rights bill.
Yeah.
We're a very conservative state. We should be able to do that. And we're going to have elections coming up, and I think we're going to have some senators that are going to have to reckon with this, the fact that some Republicans have joined with the Democrats, preventing good bills from coming up.
Yeah, you're right. And we're absolutely going to call those people out. Representative John McCravy, I appreciate you being on the program this afternoon. Thank you, sir. Keep us updated.
Well, thank you, and I'll be glad to do that.
We appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.